So, a couple of things that need to be done first off. First of all, it is a reduced agenda because I didn't think we'd have as many people here. We have had to have this meeting, otherwise we wouldn't have a council going forward. So that's one of the main reasons for us being here. So I take it you've all got the minutes in front of you, or the agenda, sorry, in front of you. I'm going to go through it as quickly as I can. So first off, I have to do a report. I'm going to keep the report fairly short, but what I would like to do is first of all recognise the people who are no longer on the council, and that's Andrew Shaw, Chris Tarrant, Alison Bold, Sarah Carson, Sarah Flannery and Paul Dobson, and thank them for all the efforts they've put in over the year. And going back before that, obviously we've had people who've stood as chair, we've had people dealing with planning, we've had people dealing with Spinks Lane, HS2, roads, parking, neighbourhood plan, starting the process for the playground. Their knowledge and their dedication is second to none. They've really put a huge amount of effort into looking after this village, and the care that they've shown for that has to be acknowledged and has to be recognised. And change is always a good thing, but at the same time the loss of some of that knowledge is also going to affect us, and perhaps it may be that we need to think about how we can utilise some of that because of the depth of knowledge that they have from past events, and things very much like planning and Spinks Lane, because we have to remember that we are coming in fresh. What I'd also like to do is recognise that a lot has gone on in the village, and a lot of developments have changed. We obviously have to recognise that the fence has been an issue over the last 6 months, and that has also added to some of the problems and some of the changes that have taken place. That is about all I'm going to say in terms of my outgoing report. I don't particularly want to go into all the details of everything. I could come here and give you a full list of everything that's been done, but looking around, I think most of you know what's been done. What I would like to say in my outgoing report is that first of all I'd like to welcome all the new members: Lorraine, Nick, Alison, Peter, Chris and Jane, and Ewan, who has sent his apologies for tonight, and I'm looking forward to working with you all, and I'm sure that we're going to take this forward and add a new dimension to the council, and there's going to be a lot of hard work ahead, and I think that hard work needs to encompass what's already gone on and develop on it. So hopefully that's the way we're going from here. So that's my report, as I said, very quick. Thank you. Okay, I have the elections, recognise all that. We've got all of your reports in there. I will be scanning those and sending them off. So basically we've got your declarations of acceptance. So I'm going to cross that one off and move on. Election of officers. Now, I'm not going to do a vice-chairperson tonight. I think that's something we need to think of going forward in the future. So we won't do that at the moment. But we are going to elect a chairperson. Whilst Ewan is not here, I did ask anyone who was interested to put forward their names. So Ewan has done, and it's been proposed and seconded. And is there anybody else who wishes to stand as chair? Chris, Jane, Peter, Nick, Lorraine, Alison? No. Okay. Just as a formality then, can we have a vote just to show that we've actually agreed that Ewan is going to be chair? So can I have all those in favour? Just put your hands up, please. Right. Okay, so all those abstaining and all those against. Right, thank you. So Ewan then is duly elected as chair of the parish council going forward. Right. If we can, so as I said, I don't think there's any point in looking at a vice-chairperson tonight unless anybody has a really great desire to do that. But I think maybe we look at that next time with Ewan in place, and we can have a chat from there. Unless anybody
can we discuss that?
Particularly wants to go for it.
Talk about that. Excuse me, Mr. Chair. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying it's up to you. But I was just wondering whether we wanted to wait till we had a full council.
My only query was, whilst we're here, so what happens with Ewan's vote? Does that sort of make it, yeah, okay, I get it, yeah. Well, we don't have Ewan's vote, do we?
No.
Therefore, for that.
Well, no. I mean, the fact is, Ewan isn't here, so he can't vote.
No.
Yeah. So I think as chair, he may want some input. So
Sure.
And we haven't had a vice chair for the last year anyway, so we don't necessarily need one. Really, the vice chair is just to stand in when there isn't a chair available. So if you wasn't here, the vice chair would take their place.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
Okay, so the one thing we do have, I've said all that, is just for tonight we need someone just to run the meeting. So if it's acceptable with you, then just for tonight's meeting, to finish off these points, I'll stand as temporary chair just to run it. I will need a proposer and a seconder and a vote, so if that's okay.
I propose that,
I'll second.
Can I just have a vote to see whether you approve that, please? Just show of hands. Right, thank you. Right, so just for tonight, I'm going to run through this as the chair, and it's just the temporary post. Sorry, I'm also acting as clerk as well, so please forgive the gaps.
Can you put a hat on every time you change it?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Chair that way, secretary that way. Shut up. Right. So, first of all, you've all had the draft minutes. Can we note them and just approve them, please? So, have you all had a chance to read through them? So,
can I just say, in the minutes?
Hang on, we'll go to matters arising in a second.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So, 2.1 minutes. Can I have a proposer and a seconder?
Yeah.
So, Alison, seconder, Nick, and can we just have a quick vote to say we accept them? Yeah, thank you. 2.2 matters arising then from those. Then we'll start with Peter.
2.2. It was stated that the neighbourhood plan, the grant for last year and the first part of this year, some of it has been spent and it needed to be returned.
That's been returned.
Right,
but what we've done is we've applied for another grant, which we've been given.
Right.
So the money that wasn't spent from the original grant has been returned, and then we've got money back. Right, I've got. Sorry, Nick, have you got anything?
No.
Jane?
No.
Chris? No. Lorraine? Alison? I've got something. 9.2 replacement clerk. I have 2 people who I've emailed about acting as a locum clerk. And I'll come back to them in a bit, but at the moment I've had no reply from them formally, but I've had one who says that I need to know dates because obviously they've got to fit around their own one. I mean, they're not definite, they've just said that they're giving me their emails. Right, so as matters arising. Declaration of interest, right, you've seen what it is, you've all signed the forms. Can I just go around and ask if there's anybody who has a declaration of any interest? Alison? Lorraine?
No.
Nick? Peter?
No.
Jane?
No.
Chris?
No.
Right, we're all okay on that, sorry. Okay, public forum. Is there anybody who wishes to say anything in the public forum? Go on, Steve.
Yeah, I've got a comment and a question, Chairman. Comment being, congratulations to you all on being elected to the Parish Council. I hope that this new Parish Council can help bring this community back together again, and we get away from the embittered comments that have been made on social media in various guises, and I hope that we can all start to work together again. My question is, as most of you know, I'm over Iros Field. Is it your wish, and I don't want an answer tonight if it makes life difficult, is it your wish that I continue to do that with the assistance of fuel money from the community group?
Yes, I'm happy.
Well, obviously, and we don't normally answer things on this. Steve, we want the grass cutting, but obviously with the new council we're going to have to just reaffirm that anyway.
If there's any change in the management regime, let me know.
I think you can see, Steve, it's carried on.
Should we put that on the agenda for the first meeting?
Well, we have got some things on there as well which link to it. Right, okay, so anyone else? No one? Okay. 5.1. Okay. Programme for meetings, if you just stick that in front of you. Traditionally, they have been held on the first Tuesday. What we have to remember is there are bookings in the village hall for different evenings, which we have to honour those. So it does make it difficult if we wish to move these. Now, the other problem we've got is that for us to get a locum clerk, we need to be able to give them some provisional dates so that they can fit them around what they're doing. So, the proposal of these dates carries on from previous years, going probably back to your dad. They did it on Tuesday, so it's always been at this time. It doesn't mean to say that it has to continue at this. So what I'm proposing is this. We have a series of dates there. What I'm going to suggest is that we agree that we accept these provisionally and that they will be discussed in full at the next meeting as to whether. But I think what we need I need to have some dates so that I can go back to these locum clerks and say, this is provisionally what we're doing. By saying they're provisional and by putting in the fact that they will be discussed in next and confirmed and firmed up in next agenda, it means that we're not locked into them if we change our minds. Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
But we'll have to go with the 6th of June anyway, won't we? Because that's the one we're going to discuss it.
Yeah, I think so. But we'll have to work around that. We've got to start having some form of process and some form of meeting. I mean, we can. There's always the facility to move dates. We have done it in the past, and we can do it again. But so the proposal is that we accept these dates as provisional dates. Let me write this down. With the view to them being discussed. Being discussed at the next meeting and confirmed at that point. Are we all happy with that?
Yes.
So, can I have a proposer and a seconder for that motion, please? So, Peter plus Lorraine. And can I just have a vote to confirm that? Right, where am I? I need to track myself. Right. This is also a fairly simple one. Membership of outside bodies and association. If we look at report 5.2, please. Cheshire Association of Local Councils, CHOLC, and thereby the National Association of Local Councils, that's the fee that we pay. Cheshire Community Buildings Network, Cheshire Community Action, Campaign to Protect Rural England, Society of Local Clerks, which will be for our clerk when we get one, Association of Local Council Clerks. And that basically what we need to do is we need to agree that we continue with those memberships and that we continue with the payments to them. Basically they're the standard ones that a parish council needs to be part of, and things like CHOLC and NOLC, you'll be getting regular updates from them about what's going on. So again, unless anybody's got anything particular they want to say, yeah?
I wanted to ask about the Cheshire Community Buildings Network and the Cheshire Community Action Group. Are they the same group? Because if you look at them, they both appear to be the same thing comes up.
They're slightly different.
Right.
Yeah.
And have we ever used them? Because there are one or two things that are noticed in the community action that we could benefit from in the future, thinking of the warm welcome that we're doing within the community.
To be quite honest with you, that will have been dealt with a lot by the clerk, so they've been used to feed back to us, so I couldn't 100% say how much we've used them.
Right.
But I think they're all part and parcel of what we need to be involved in, certainly in terms of the Wednesday warm welcome.
And it was also about refurbing the village halls, because they're very keen on old buildings and maintaining old
so I mean
village halls.
it's worth keeping them so that we can tap into them.
Oh, certainly, yeah. I just wondered if we had ever tapped into the resource before.
Is there a charge for each one of these?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to pay an annual membership.
It's a membership.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all, the charges are all built into the budget anyway.
I'm reluctant just to check this
I have to
off.
say, I want to know what we get, what we can get. Is there any benefit?
Yeah.
And clearly, for me, reading about the two different groups, there really was some benefit that we could perhaps use in the future.
There is a benefit to being part of them, yeah. I mean,
CHOLC for sure, but I'm sure that feels good to me. But
I think the thing is, if you look, we're already paid on these anyway, so the things like CHOLC and NOLC are paid till April 2023. We need to make sure we pay the annual subscription for that. And there are other ones where the subscription comes up. I can't speak tonight, I'm really sorry. What I would suggest is that we just review them as the subscription comes up.
yes, I'd rather we didn't vote for them to sort of accept them as they are.
Well, the trouble is, if we don't, then we don't get them. Most of them are there, particularly in particular, the CHOLC and NOLC.
I think they're already paid for.
Yeah.
I think we'd probably go with it and then just look at as they come up, like you say, for subscription, we look at each individual.
I don't want us to agree as a council that they go ahead and commit ourselves.
They're all budgeted for. They are all in the budget.
Yeah.
I mean, just.
But it follows that it would just follow on from there if we all agree that we're happy with that. We need a get out, if you like.
Well, the get out we can put in as the subscription comes due, we review it.
Okay, happy with that.
Well, it does tell you they're paid April 23, so that's for a year, isn't it? Paid
so
22 October.
Okay.
So I think that some of these are going to run for a while.
Most of them are all running. Things like like you say, the campaign for Protect Rural England. That will run out in October 23. So we'll need to have a look at it then.
You just you collect baggage as you go along, and it just keeps repeating for that. So it's a good time now, is it not, to just review those?
I mean, I would imagine this with the clerk thing, that they're people who Jack would have been able to ring to have found information out. So I think that's possibly.
Yeah, they're what all the clerks belong to. I mean, there's a
I
forum.
can't imagine that you could get out of that, because if there was something that they didn't know, they've got to ring, haven't they?
Well, it's a Cheshire Community Action Group, I don't know, but it's still 20 quid. The kind of responsibility is the money belongs to the village.
I
having seen what they do have on offer, it's something that, as a councillor now, I would be suggesting that we go to them for various things.
I don't know about them.
Worth looking at.
I'm not saying no, I'm just saying.
Well, I'd say that we agree to continue with them and review them when the subscription
Yes.
comes up.
That makes sense.
Right, so in terms of that then, if we're going to do that, what I've said is we agree to continue with the memberships and review as the subs come due. I will again need to vote on that as a motion, so I'll need a proposer and a seconder, please, to do that. Peter and Lorraine. Sorry, it's the first hand I see out of the corner of my eye when I'm writing. So, can we just have a vote as well, please? Are we all in agreement with that?
I'm staying.
Okay, so Jane, are you?
I'll go with it.
So, 5+1. Staying. Right, 5.3. If we can look at this one, this is the general data protection. This is just about noting, there's no vote needed. Your council approved a set of documents setting out the council's policies and procedures in respect of the then newly introduced GDPR. Such policies and documents were reviewed in June 2020 without change. Nothing substantial has changed in respect to the GDPR requirements since such time, and a few riders in relation to the ongoing work on the play area refurbishment and neighbourhood plan. Members should note that the policies and documents previously approved. Should members wish to review the policies and documents, a report can be brought back to council in the future. So it's just a matter of noting that that if we want to review it in the future, we can do. At the moment, it's just literally just making you aware that there is a GDPR policy.
One quick
John.
query that I had on that as well. When it says about the riders relating to, and then I couldn't find anywhere within going through the policy what those riders actually were. And then my query then was, well, sure, what are these riders? Should they now be included in the policy and that rewritten?
Well, that's something that we might need to review going forward. That's why I say it's just a matter of noting and not voting at the moment.
Right.
The riders will be things that are specific to the neighbourhood plan and people's involvement in that, so
Right.
and things like that. So again, that's one that we will have to review in the future if we want
Right,
to.
yes.
Right, if you can have a look at the new payments. Again, this one is a pretty minute one. We just need to agree that we're going to go ahead with these. These are the standard ones. If you look at the expenses for Jack Steele, these were agreed by council that as he's continued doing some work for us, it's this one here first. This one. Expenses. Okay. That he was going to carry on doing a few bits and bobs, and obviously when we get a clerk he will do the handover as well, so we've agreed that we will pay for him to do that. So the monthly standing order for the clerk's fees ceased on the 28th of February, and since that he's worked on an hourly rate as described in the report to the council the 6th of December. The hourly rate is £12.06 an hour. The hours logged since the last payment from 19th of April up to including 8th of May amount to 22.5. Work was primarily involved preparing appropriate information for the internal auditor, which was significant, and also part of preparation of this agenda. So what we need to do on this one is, if you would just, we basically need to approve the payments so that they can be made to the company for the work he's done. So any comments or questions on that?
No, look up to me.
So can I have a proposer, Jane, and Melissa? Can I have a quick vote? Yeah, 6. And finally, the last one. Sorry, this was the clerk's fees. On this, there's clerk fees and the cleaning in May, and the internal auditor's fees, which again, I just want to, if we we can just agree on that. Are there any questions about that?
No.
Can I have a proposal and a second? Just to Nick, I got you. Cool. And can I have a quick vote, please? So, right. That's it. So, as I said, it's only going to be a quick one tonight. We just needed to get through some of the basics so that we've agreed payments and we've agreed everything so that the council basics can move on, and that we can just take this forward. I will type up a note sometime in the near future. It won't be this week. And then we'll meet again.
Thank you.
Don't know where. Right, thank you very much.
Thank you.